Good morning, family. This is Ricky. Welcome to Hope for Today. Happy Thursday. It's the 22nd of June, the year of our Lord, 2023. We've been celebrating wisdom for how to have a great plan. A lot of things God's going to call you to will be in the moment or in the week. Most things God's going to call you to will be over the long term, which means you require a plan. So we've been talking about the virtues of all things planning. We said you got to have a plan. Then we said you got to have a mentor. Yesterday we said you got to have patience. Today I want to say you got to have precision. Okay? And you got to say it that way. You can't say precision. You got to have precision. Because I want you to remember how important this virtue in your planning is. You got to have, y'all ready? Here comes the word underneath. Precision. Did you like the echo effect? Okay. You got to have precision. What I mean by this is that you have to learn in your plan what you say yes to. But way more than that, you better know what you got to say no to. Okay? You've read books like Good to Great that talk about how too many organizations and too many leaders are pretty decent at a whole lot of things, but great at nothing. And the people that are pretty decent at a lot of things never learned precision. Because if God's calling you to do something, God's calling you to do it with greatness and with excellence. And the only way you can do that is to stay on target and to stay focused to what God's called you to do. I feel that in church world sometimes. Sometimes I feel like our beautiful church, and I love this church, I feel we're good at a bunch of things, but great at not enough things. And so we've been having this conversation here as to what it means to say no to the things God hadn't called us to, and yes, doubly to the things God has called us to, because we want to be great in what God says we are supposed to be. 1 Corinthians 15:58. I think Paul speaks to this. He says, "Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain." Of course, he's talking about the gospel promise and the hope of eternal blessing in Christ. But he says to the saints, you guys stay here. Stay on target for Jesus. Do the work of the gospel to the point that you can't be moved away from it. And he says, if you do that, you'll always abound in the work of the Lord. I don't know about you, but I've been on target and just going to do something great that God's called me to. But then all these good opportunities come and I get sidetracked. And what ends up happening is that I'm left empty because the great thing he called me to was sideswiped by good things that someone else called me to. And what it means to be great and what it means to execute the plan is to learn that if God said do this, that's what I'm going to be measured by. And I want to make Jesus famous in what he called me to, not in what they called me to. Precision. That's hope for today, y'all. I'll see you next time.